A true classic never goes out of style.
This is the Horrible Film School. Take a seat and slowly rip open your trapper keepers. I am Chris, and I'm here with Professor Hootie, a.k.a. Trap Daddy.
What's up, fellas? I would say I'm excited to talk about this fucking doll again, but I'm really not.
You know you love it, baby. Also joined by the rubber man himself, Professor Nasty, a.k.a. Joey.
What up, guys and gals? I'm ready to get up in this bitch. How about y'all?
All right, dudes, before we get into it, here's your weekly, or I should say bi-weekly, news roundup, courtesy of your boy. First off, I wanted to start off by going over our In a Violent Nature experience with Mr. Joseph here. Joey, you want to tell the good people how our theatrical experience went down for the new horror film, In a Violent Nature?
All right, so I have been doing a lot of, believe it or not, I've been doing a lot of fasting here recently, right? My whole plan for that day, I didn't eat anything at all fucking day. And that night, I was going to hit up Cookout or Steak and Shake or someplace out in, out in the big town of Greensboro.
Classy joints.
Gonna be
So
on chili dog.
I went out there with a empty tummy. Except for one thing, I actually had a rather large edible that I took beforehand. So I'm on the fucking moon for this experience. And we're out there, what was it, it was a 10:30 showing on a Thursday?
Yeah, I got a text from Joey at like 9:45. I was like, you want to catch this 10:45 showing of this fucking horror movie? I was like, all right, I guess let's do it.
So yeah, we go out there, everything's all good. We're seated. Ain't but like 4 people in the fucking theater. So it's my favorite sort of movie scenario.
Yeah, this is like opening weekend too.
So we get seated. The movie's taking forever to get started. Before it can get started, there's a fucking alarm.
Fucking fire alarm.
Somebody has burnt popcorn or burnt some shit. They literally leave children running the registers apparently at like 10:30 at night and running like the registers running the popcorn machine. They managed to burn it. We're out there in the parking lot. There's this guy walking around. He looks like he's from the fucking movie.
Yeah, he legit. It was terrifying.
He has his blue whale shirt on, and me and Chris keep calling him Big Blue. And we're like looking around, making sure he ain't trying to fucking in a violent nature my ass out in the parking lot. But anyway, we got the fire department rolls up, all this other bullshit. We don't get seated back in the theater for another 30 minutes. We finally get seated. They run the first 30 minutes of the fucking movie with no audio at all. I'm fucking sitting there blitzed out of my mind. My enjoyment my enthusiasm for the movie fucking waning significantly. But yeah, the first 30 minutes of the movie, I'm sitting there thinking, man, is this the artistic direction this fucking movie's taking? Is this part of the movie? But no, the 30 minutes of the movie, no audio whatsoever. So they restart the fucking movie. Audio and everything's good to go.
Yeah, I had to run out to the lobby myself to get him to crank the noise on.
I'm calling these motherfuckers on the phone in the middle of the goddamn silent film, screaming, trying to talk to somebody. No one's answering the fucking phone.
Were you two alone in the movie theater?
No. We're still there.
These 2 ladies beside of us had rolled out. They said, y'all have fun. We're out of here. It's like after midnight at this point. This movie still hasn't started.
Whoa.
Yeah, a 10:45 showing starts at what, like 11 something or 11:40, 12 o'clock.
Yeah, it was super close to midnight. It was fucking.
Yeah, this experience was fucking terrible. However, the movie was great. Enjoyed the fuck out of the movie.
It was bizarre to watch it at fucking 1 o'clock in the morning when you're like zoned out. A lot of creepy ass imagery in there too.
You're probably delirious.
Exactly. I dreamt about it that night, man.
I was delirious with hunger. I was fucking starving at this point.
Well, you never told us if you made it to the chili dogs.
Well,
we made it to the
we did. However, that's his own fucking experience.
Yeah, it's its own side
This
track.
stupid clown motherfucker right here, it says some shit I ain't never heard anybody say to a cookout employee.
I pulled up on the window and I told her I wanted a cheeseburger, and she said, "What kind?"
This motherfucker
So
said,
I just glanced at the menu. The first thing I saw said steak style, so I said, "I'll take it steak style." And she had no idea what the fuck I was talking
This
about.
motherfucker says steak style. Ain't nobody in the history of cookout ever said steak style. They forget that shit's on the goddamn menu to begin with, Chris. You can't just say A1 and onions.
I wasn't gonna read the topping list. I was just pointing
A1's
to the
good on
first
the
thing I
burger.
saw because I panicked. But
Anyway,
it was a bad experience.
This fucking human
So we just
clown-
left that
this,
draft room,
Nah,
went to
hell
another
no. This human clown right here says steak style. This bitch is confused as fuck, don't know what's going on. And she starts saying small fry or some shit. And I just tell at this point, I can't control myself. I'm fucking laughing. I'm telling Chris, just drive off. Motherfucker drives forward. There's a car in front of us, so he can't go nowhere. She realizes.
As we drive it off, Joey's yelling to the lady in the mic, "We forgot our stuff." Like, I don't know what the fuck that means. Like, he was like, apologizing, I guess.
He fucking rolls forward. He can't go forward, so he has to start backing out of the son bitch. And she's still talking to us while we're backing up.
Yeah, this is like 2:00 in the morning at this point.
Oh man! But eventually, yeah, I got my burger, and oh my god, it was so fucking good.
But yeah, that was our experience. We both enjoyed the movie. Though it was pretty brutal.
The
A lot of
movie
good practical
had
effects
like
in there.
legit one of the most creative yet grotesque kills I've ever fucking seen in a slasher type movie.
I am going to be honest, boys. I'm shocked. I have not seen the film yet, but everybody who I've talked to hated it. So
It's a lot of tension building,
walking.
and literally
Yeah.
the movie's premise is you're following Jason Voorhees as he stalks campers, or I guess they're campers.
Yeah, I mean, you played Friday the 13th, the game, right? So if you're playing as Jason,
Have
you're
I?
just fucking walking around a lot, right? That's what you get, but
Okay.
definitely an artistic approach to it. It's not something I just would blatantly recommend to anybody, but come on, man. It's,
Like,
it's something new. We haven't
I
ever
don't-
seen anything like that before.
I don't know if it was hunger pains or what, but the last 15, 20 minutes of the movie, they continually build tension and suspense. And they're trying to like rope you into, all right, this motherfucker's around this corner, he's around that corner, blah, 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 blah. But it doesn't have the payoff that you'd think. And
Yeah,
it like
the ending is
left my
unique.
stomach hurting. I don't know if it was like I was hungry, but it was like,
Yeah, nothing's going to replicate that experience that we had of it. So
yeah, I know. That could've
take
been
everything
part
we're
of it.
saying with that with a grain of steak style cheeseburger.
Prepare to be bored to tears or enthralled. If you're a fan of, or if you're a diehard fan of like Friday the 13th or any sort of like stalker-esque slasher movie, I would definitely highly recommend it. Very artsy fartsy though. Keep that in mind. Artsy fartsy to the fucking max.
But yeah, in big news outside of the independent world, thought this was pretty cool. Something I've been looking forward to. Max's upcoming series, Welcome to Derry, will officially feature the return of Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise the Clown. Premieres in 2025.
That's gonna be so dope.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Billy again.
You say that, Joey. It's going to be dope. I hope it is too. I hope it's fantastic. I just fear that it's like those late 80s, early 90s Friday the 13th on Nightmare on Elm Street, where it was based around Freddy or Jason, and they were never in the damn shows.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. So when I saw the news that Bill is actually going to be on the show, kind of like reaffirmed my excitement for it.
I feel like with it being HBO as well, like they're gonna have to have a certain quality, and I think the only way to really build the quality of the show as a horror show, I mean, you're gonna have to have elements of horror. And when it comes to Stephen King's It, I mean, it's all Pennywise.
It's come back.
Here's the thing, like I don't know if you guys recall, but as disappointing or as overblown as the chapter 2 of the Bill Skarsgård Pennywise,
Yeah, that was a bit unfortunate.
the opening. If the show plays like the opening of the movie of the second chapter, it's gonna be really fucking good. That's like the scariest that Pennywise has been for me.
The last piece of news I wanted to touch on, this is some internal stuff here. One of our good friends of the podcast reached out to us, actually followed us up on a challenge that we sent out to them in our Descent episode. We were kind of curious How would Sarah continue to live her life? Like, what would she tell a therapist? So, one of our big fans, he sent us an email of his Chat GPT transaction log as Sarah seeking therapy.
Turned it into
go over some of
assignment.
it here for you. It's pretty fucking cool.
Dude, somebody actually did homework.
So yeah, he's going as Sarah here, talking to Chat GPT, essentially saying like, "What do I do? Like, my life is in shambles. How do I seek help? What should I do?" Kind of listed all the problems. I'm stuck in a cave. All my friends are dead. I'm being chased by these white monsters. To which it tells her to immediately seek safety and medical attention, professional help, prioritize your own mental well-being, all this good stuff. And he kind of pushes it further into the, what if I'm crazy? What do I do? And this is, no, you're not crazy. You're experiencing an extreme trauma. This is a natural reaction. These are normal feelings you're having. And he pushed it further, asking, like, what if these cave monsters aren't real? ChatGPT just reiterated to seek professional help. You need to process your trauma. Here are some grounding techniques. Focus on sights, sounds, smells in your environment. And to which our listener responded, I have no insurance. And ChatGPT went about giving them all kinds of things, free resources they could use. What if I'm hallucinating? What if I'm still here? And ChatGPT recommended some reality checking. Look around. Look for sounds, smells, and textures to ground yourself in your current reality. Contact a trusted person. To which our guy responded more blatantly, I'm in a cave surrounded by cave monsters. I don't have a journal. How do I journal without a journal in the dark when I'm surrounded by bloodthirsty cave monsters? Our AI therapist said to stay calm, use light very wisely. So at this point, she's figured it out. Like, this person is really stuck in
I'm in a cave, bitch. How the fuck am I going to use light?
Use your hands to mark a path. Find a safe space. Make noise cautiously. Conserve your energy. Create a routine, like counting your breaths or reciting something familiar. You can even do improvised journaling, which is a mental record of your thoughts and experiences. I thought this was pretty cool. One of the things it recommended for Sarah to do was to do physical markings. Use rocks, mud, or other materials to make simple marks or symbols on the cave walls to record the passage of time or significant events. AKA start drawing cocks in the murals you see on the wall. Plan an escape. Our last bit of feedback was, what if the cave monsters have shaved taints? And then our therapist says, it's crucial to focus on your survival. Stay focused. Again, assess your environment. Listen for clues. Pay attention to sounds that might indicate the presence of the creatures. It was really awesome to read through. We got like a whole chat log in the email here. So thank you for that one.
Look about the shaved taints. Trust me, I feel your pain. I tried to get the Snapchat AI filter to like sex me one time, and it wouldn't do it either. So, you know, we'll be looking forward to this technology here in the next couple of years. Just hang in there, brother.
One day we'll all know how to deal with shaved taints without having to look it up.
I'm impressed by Chat's ability to actually sound like a somewhat competent therapist.
I did like the fact that it took like 5 prompts before it was like, okay, this person is really in a cave surrounded by taint-shaved white men who are trying to assault her. All right, man, that's all I got for current events. You boys got anything you want to distribute to the masses?
Just wanted to shout out Horrible Film School's been on the road, hitting the dusty trail. We recently were on not one but 2 podcasts. That would be the Let's Talk Horror channel, where we cover The Frighteners, which is available on YouTube and all podcast platforms. And a more recent podcast will be the J Squared Horror Podcast, where we had a chance to talk with them guys about They Live. And that's on YouTube and all podcast platforms as well. Nothing like talking about the hot rod. And then finally, we surpassed, fellas. This is pretty wild. We surpassed 1,000 Instagram followers. So shout out to all of our followers.
Insta Army, raise up.
Thanks for the support, you guys. Did you guys talk about Hell Comes to Frogtown?
I don't think it ever got brought up, but I wanted to. It's such an awesome film based off its concept of it's literally Roddy Piper
trying to fuck a frog, isn't he?
Has too much sex, and he gets a chastity belt locked around his penis, and he is the last man on Earth with, like, I guess, active semen.
I have no idea what either one of you are talking about right now. All right, boys, let's get today's assignment. Going back in the way back, 26 bleeping years ago, 1998's Bride of Chucky. Today's lesson: the honeymoon's gonna be a killer.
Who let the dogs out? Ooh, 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 ooh.
Was that like the hit from 1998? Is that
Something like that. I was listening to some like older country from 98. 98 wasn't the best year when it comes to country. Country.
With 3 U's. 3 U's.
Country. Back in 98, we were still in our country phase, weren't we, Chris?
Yeah, I was still listening to some Tim McGraw, a little bit of Alan Jackson.
It's got to be Tim.
Borderline.
How do you like me now? I think that might.
Now that I'm on my way.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Rip.
Gone too soon. So yeah, let's go ahead and start this thing off with some fan reviews. The coolest movie that I've seen in a long, long time, by J.C. Doe, back in October of 1998. I went into this movie expecting a good time, and that's exactly what I got. Possibly even more. I've never had so much fun in the theater before. The crowd of my friends and I cheered for our little hero Chucky and his new bride Tiffany, who slashed their way to the top in this hilarious movie. Brad Dourif and Jennifer Tilly make an awesome pair and must have had fun making this film together. Watch for Martha Stewart jokes and one hell of a funny sex scene between Chucky and his bride. Chucky definitely gets lucky with this fun little romp in the theater. Run to go see this movie today. I'm going again next week. 10 out of 10.
That sounds like the most paid fucking review I've ever heard.
It sounds like a chat GBT review, huh?
Run to the theaters. You said that was written in 98?
Run,
Yeah,
don't walk.
98.
IMDb was around in 98?
I guess. Fuck. Was the internet around? Was Al
Firing
Gore?
up the
Was Al
dial-up,
Gore doing?
man.
Well, yeah, I mean, honestly, this movie kind of encapsulates, or this review encapsulates the essence of the movie for the most part. It's just fun. You know, it's doing something a little bit different compared to the other three. So with every positive, there's always going to be a negative. Words come up short in its awfulness. It's by Sweeney 820 on September of 1999. This movie is by far the most ridiculous piece of trash I have ever seen. What a waste of perfectly good celluloid. What is everyone talking about with this campy and funny stuff? I was not entertained in the smallest iota for one fraction of a second of this movie. I've got nothing against Chucky or horror movies. I love the first Child's Play and appreciate a good horror flick now and then. But this was just pathetic. Even the so-called funny scenes in this movie were so atrociously bad that I couldn't even laugh in pity. I would have walked out, except I saw it with 5 other people and I didn't drive. 6 months later, and I'm still trying to wipe the slime off my memory. That is Bride of Chucky. 1 out of 10.
Now there's a
Hard-ass
sharp,
motherfucker right there, man.
there's a sharp distinction there. That person could have left the theater and waited in the lobby,
Uh-huh.
but the movie wasn't that bad.
Think about this, though. Back in 99, when you left the theater and sat in the lobby, you couldn't play on your cell phone. So, what the fuck was
They
you
didn't
gonna
even
be
have
doing?
fucking central air back in, bro. You'd go out there and it'd be hot as balls. One of the ushers would be out there fucking blowing on your face. That would be your air conditioners, a fucking stank ass acne faced fucking usher blowing on your face.
You could have got like a Crystal Pepsi, though, and enjoyed that in solitude.
Oh, fucking shit was so good, bro.
Remember that shit?
Why'd they do away with that shit?
Maybe a Zima, if you were lucky.
A Zima.
Remember Zimas?
I remember that, but I don't remember that at a theater. That was like,
They're like water
it's an
beer?
alcoholic
How many
beverage.
theatrical memories you have? I don't think we were allowed to get popcorn until we were adults, because mom's like, I ain't paying for that shit.
Remember how Grandpa pulling the movie, he'd take my sister's shoe off, put it in his pocket, and he would say, "Oh, left our shoe in there. We need to go in there." He'd sneak in with my baby sister.
Just fucking walk straight in. Everybody else is in line to pay. Pops just walk right in the damn theater.
Wouldn't stop him enough. All right, let's hop over to discuss the director of this film. Guy by the name of Ronnie Yu. A Hong Kong Chinese national. He directed, or would go on to direct, 2003's Freddy vs. Jason. The highly controversial, highly ridiculed. However, I enjoyed the fuck out of that movie. You guys have any, like, breakdown of his filmography or his works?
I do not. I did write that he directed Freddy vs. Jason, and I think he directed that weird-ass kangaroo martial arts movie that we saw when we were kids. Remember that shit?
Ain't no fucking way he directed that.
I'm pretty sure he did. I might need to double-check my notes. I didn't write it down because I wasn't confident that that was exactly what it was. But
And they each had their distinct color, and you had
Yes.
Oh, God. Okay.
that fucking thing. You remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that was creepy.
Those anthropomorphic kangaroos.
Like, the martial arts was cool, but that shit was... Back when I was a kid, I was badass. I'm sitting there trying to, like, stand on my back foot, pretend I'm a kangaroo.
1997, Warriors of Virtue by Ronnie Yu. A martial arts fantasy film.
97?
They got him this movie.
97.
That's what led to him getting this movie. You're right.
The titular Warriors of Virtue, anthropomorphic kangaroos who wield the powers of Tao and battle an evil warlord. We fucking watched this weird-ass shit somehow, some way.
Was it animated?
No. This was live action.
No, these were fucking like dudes in kangaroo
Yeah,
suits.
this is live action. Dudes dressed up in kangaroo suits. Fucking.
This is some of the weirdest shit you will ever see.
Here's the
in a
thing.
martial
I don't
arts
think any
movie.
of them have like an Australian accent either. They were like
They have
Chinese.
to.
They were Chinese-born kangaroos.
But yeah, they wore like robes and shit. There was like the blue one, the green one. This was back in the day where we would always be like, let's go play whatever that weirdo kangaroo movie is. I'll be the red one.
So it's a Ninja Turtle knockoff with kangaroos.
Yeah, live action.
God forbid.
It's fucking wild, man. That's a time capsule. I knew Joey would appreciate that. But yeah,
Dude, I
Ronnie
forgot
Yu,
all
our
about
boy.
that shit.
I forgot about it until 3 hours ago when it popped up.
You gotta let your son watch that. So yeah, outside of the kangaroo movie and Freddy vs. Jason, I got a cool little tidbit about this guy. He got his Master of Business Administration degree from Ohio University. Go Cats!
I know that his career took what looks to be a nosedive after Freddy vs. Jason.
Yeah, it was essentially like the end of, like he obviously was a Hong Kong filmmaker, so he made a lot of cool like martial arts shit in the 80s and early 90s. I think there was a movie called The Bride with White Hair or something like that. From what I understand, it's kind of what got him the Bride of Chucky gig. But it's weird to, in my mind, I guess, to scout like a martial arts filmmaker to come direct a Chucky movie with little to no action sequences in it.
I feel like horror gets a lot of those weird, like, hey, do you want to direct this film?
I mean, I would say it's a competent direction in the movie. It doesn't look like someone who doesn't know what they're doing. As far
This
as,
movie's actually like,
Yeah.
there's some scenes that look really fucking good, like foreground, background character shots. I really like. Also, it would be a disservice with it being a movie with the Chucky character, not to mention Don Mancini.
Big Don,
the daddy, Chucky daddy.
Chuck Daddy.
Chuck Daddy. Yeah, once again, written by Don Mancini. We've had 3 movies to talk about this guy already. What the fuck else can we say? You know what I mean?
Don. His name is Don.
Don. I did add, I don't know if we mentioned it before, but he did write a few episodes of 2015's Hannibal on NBC, which is criminally underrated. Shouldn't have got canceled. Holla at your boy Mads Mikkelsen as Hannibal Lecter.
I'm sure you've already said that.
Probably, but I got to plug something that deserves it when I can.
He directed Seed, Curse, and Cult, though. So.
Oh, shit. Let's say he should have stuck to writing.
Well, all right, Seed is the one that's like the fucking total shit fest.
I'm dreading that one.
Yeah, the other 2 aren't that bad. They kind of get back to the horror roots. Let's hop over to interesting factoids.
Before we do that, I want to do another kind of behind-the-scenes shout-out just to the soundtrack because it's pretty fucking dope soundtrack. I'm just going to list some of the artists that pop out here. You got White Zombie, Judas Priest, Slayer, Power Man 5000, Static X, and Motorhead. It's such a fucking 1998 soundtrack.
It's a quintal late 90s, early 2000s soundtrack, like rock and roll soundtrack.
I mean, we're not even talking about score here. We're talking about music. Like, I feel like we haven't really shouted out soundtracks before, but this one definitely had like a fucking vibe.
Oh, the score in this movie it takes a backseat to the soundtrack, for sure.
We've been blasting some Rob and White Zombie in the car the past couple of days. My son's. a big Dragula fan, so we've been doing a lot of Hillbilly Deluxe lately.
This movie is literally the reason I went and bought the Hillbilly Deluxe CD when I did.
I love that fucking music, man, to this day.
Dude.
I think everybody owned that CD at one point in their life.
It was like the last great CD. After that, everything kind of went digital.
It was Living Dead Girl, man. When Living
jam,
Dead Girl,
dude.
man. Like I was talking about earlier, dude. It was 1998. We were still line dancing to fucking George Strait and Shania Twain.
This is right when our corruption began. I think this and Idle Hands also featured Dragula by Rob Zombie. Like that same, like that was when we started to see the darkness, and we're like, this is fucking cool, man. Toby Keith ain't got shit on this.
Cool little tidbit I found about, like, a little trivia fact I guess you can use. The lead singer of Powerman 5000, he's actually Rob Zombie's brother. Isn't that crazy? I didn't know
I knew
that.
that because my brother loved Power Man 5000.
I used to make Dragon Ball Z music videos with Power Man 5000 tracks. Good shit.
This motherfucker be over on the damn keyboard and shit, head up in the blanket.
That's how hard I go, dog.
A little hair be up in his eyes like he's in fucking Spider-Man 3. He be
downloading Dragon Ball Z
his head
shit
back and forth, get the
on
hair out of his eye.
dial-up and cutting music videos. That's next level nerdy right there, baby.
I couldn't even like masturbate on the computer. Some bitch be over here cutting up music videos.
Can I jerk off? No, motherfucker, I'm working on this new Certain Shade of Green with Piccolo.
Chris, are you done yet?
It ain't gonna take me 3 minutes to do what I gotta do, Chris.
Motherfucker, I'm doing Majin Vegeta versus Goku till when worlds collide. It's fucking epic. You go jerk off in the bathroom like a normal person.
Jesus. Kind of a fucking desert in terms of stuff that I really consider super interesting that didn't directly involve the actual movie itself or the actual contents of the movie. This was at the time, and I think maybe I would probably say maybe still the case, the most expensive entry in the Chucky verse, as it were, at $25 million.
I think it has to be. That's insane.
For 1998, that is kind of a hefty budget now that you say it. I wrote it down, but I didn't really think about that. This is coming like, what, 7 years after the previous entry?
You had
91?
88, 90, 91.
91 or 92.
It might be 93.
I think it's a little bit earlier.
It's early 90s.
But still, it's quite a budget for like a franchise that had kind of grown almost cold at this point.
And this movie takes place, within a week of the third film or something like that?
No, I think they cite the fact that it's been 10 years since Charles Lee Ray went into the doll. So that would have been in 88. So it's been 10 years. So it would have been
yeah, it's
whatever time frame between the movies was the actual time frame from what we saw. I know we've talked about him before. Kevin Yeager, several months before production, him and his team, they began to create the animatronic puppets for Chucky and Tiffany. Chucky alone, there were 9 different puppets that were used. It's got to be like one of the all-time animatronics you want to own, right?
this version of Chucky.
For me, this Chucky look is
So fucking sinister, right?
like you have the good guy doll, you can get away with it if someone has context, but this one needs no introduction.
This one, it's almost like he's so fucking evil, it's bursting through his skin. It's so cool.
He looks fucking great.
He looks great.
And some more, mostly about the doll stuff is kind of all the behind the scenes shit I got. But Jennifer Tilly, she did the voice, of course, for Tiffany. She did all that 3-day recording session she held in tandem with Brad Dourif before principal photography even started. I thought that was pretty cool. Think about how central their voice work is to this movie, and you record it before you shoot a frame of the movie. That's your blueprint, is these two actors who share the studio together for everything that we heard from the dolls.
Think about Jennifer Tilly looking across the studio at Brad during the sex scene.
I think I read a lot that was improvised as well. I think it had to do a lot with their chemistry, like working together.
But yeah, another bit on the dolls. It said it had 7 puppeteers to manipulate each doll. So you had 7 puppeteers, a computer playback operator, and a puppet coordinator who kind of worked as a liaison between the operators and the directors. I was really curious how you direct these scenes when there's so much, like you're getting a recording of the audio and you're directing the puppeteers, I guess, in the sequence. Maybe this is where the kangaroo experience came into play.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm fucking thinking. He's like the Hong Kong Jim Henson.
That explains why he has such weird fucking eye movement halfway through the movie. Like, it looks like he's fucking nutting, like, a lot.
Brad Dourif said this is his personal favorite film of the series. That's kind of a big deal.
Oh, I read it's his personal favorite until Cult came out.
It might have been an old quote that I dug up then. So Cult was that was like the revival, right? 2015 or so?
It's Curse, then Cult. This movie,
I remember enjoying one of them.
Seed, and then Curse, and then you had Cult, and then you have the fucking...
The Mark Hamill thing, right?
Mark Hamill bullshit.
What was that one called?
Child's Play. Child's Play 2019 or something.
The last thing I have, this is something we got to talk about, of course, because I had to watch the YouTube video again today, just so I wouldn't forget.
If it's not Jennifer Tilly's boobs, I don't want to talk about it.
It's close. It's definitely talked about in this YouTube video. To promote the film, Chucky made an appearance on October 12th, 1998 episode WCW Monday Night Nitro.
What?
We talked about this.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
we've
think
talked
it's
about
coming back
this.
to me. Was it a doll or like a...
Oh, it was the doll. It was
He
Brad
interrupted
Dourif.
a promo between Mean Gene and Rick Steiner. They were talking shit about him
Was
getting
it
ready
Rick
to
or
fight
Scott?
Steiner. It was
Okay.
Rick. And Chucky pops up. He starts laughing, and they cut, and there's the video of fucking Chucky, Brad Dourif, laughing on the mega screen or whatever. And he's like talking down to him the whole time, like calling Rick Steiner a fucking idiot. And everybody should come see my new movie, Bride of Chucky. And he said, Scott Steiner's going to beat you in the next match. So fucking corny, man. Check it out, though. It's on YouTube. I think WWE, the official WWE channel actually hosts it. So all comments were blocked. I was looking for comments, but they were blocked.
WCW would sell its soul to make a dime on anything.
Bananas, dude. And then I went down a whole rabbit hole of like the 10 worst things that happened to WCW in their last 2 years.
Oh, that's a lot.
The motherfuckers was trying hard.
David Arquette was champion at one point.
David Arquette, well, that was I think that was number 2 in the top 10 worst things. Just imagine Brad Dourif getting that call like, Brad, we need you to cut a fucking promo as Chucky on WCW Monday Night Nitro.
Say, if you ain't got nothing to say, get the heck out of here.
I'm here to tell everyone that if they want to see a real pro at work, they should go and see my new movie, Bride of Chucky, opening October 16th. And I want to give you some advice, Ricky. Don't mess with Scott.
Yeah, we mentioned the budget, box office, 25 for the budget, box office 50.7.
I got one note, and that's all I got, so we can move on here. But there was a planned album of love songs featuring Brad Dourif and Jennifer Tilly singing as their doll counterparts, Chucky and Tiffany. It's revealed in the movie commentary that Tiffany was to sing Killing Me Softly with his song, and Chucky was intended to sing House of the Rising Sun. And the two were to share a duet of Hit the Road, Jack.
What the fuck?
It never saw the light of day.
Ready to get into this bad boy or what?
Let's get married.
You know what the French call an orgasm? Le petit morte. The little death. Come on, Tiffany. Let's die a little.
A naive young officer absconds with a large evidence bag from the Lockport Police Department Evidence Depository, lying in wait for his mystery buyer at an abandoned warehouse. Dropping his guard for mere moments, the policeman finds himself on the wrong end of a blade as it slashes across his throat. His stiletto-wearing murderess grabs the bag for herself, reaching inside and revealing its contents. The butchered remains of a good guy doll. The mutilated toy corpse of Charles Lee Ray. Using some extra doll parts back at her trailer and her talents as a seamstress, the hot blonde marvels at her creation, a stitched and stapled Frankenstein Chucky. Sing it from me, living dead girl.
Living Dead Girl. That fucking drop was great, man. I actually rewound it just to hear more of the song. Because they cut it off like they do like halfway through the song.
I literally went right to it and started listening to Hellbilly Deluxe.
Right. So he stopped the movie.
It's got like
put it
four. It's got. Four, I literally stopped the
We're
fucking
gonna
movie.
have to podcast next week because I'm fucking listening to this album.
There's 4 bangers on that album. Go check it out. You got Super Beast, Dragula, Living Dead Girl, and Demonoid Phenomenon. I forgot about Demonoid Phenomenon. That's such a good fucking song.
Get it on.
But I know one of you want to talk about the first Easter egg, in the movie, in the depository.
The Big Four, right?
Hootie said it in such a demanding way. Please,
Yeah.
let's hear about it.
Are we supposed to believe that this is all in the same universe, like in the same town, or is this a bunch of high school kids wearing these props and then they're being taken from them?
Definitely all look like knockoff versions of the Big Four, right? Is it you got Mike Myers, Jason Voorhees, you got the Leatherface chainsaw, Freddy's glove, right? That's the Big Four we saw.
The Michael Myers mask looked pretty shitty.
It looked generic. Jason one looks like a generic ass hockey mask, so
Well, either way,
I think it was more just like a cheeky little funny thing they wanted to throw
it's
in.
cheeky and all, but either way, those figures still exist in this universe.
But there's no way this single law enforcement group apprehended
every
all 4
single
those
one of them,
fucking
right?
guys.
Got them all in cuffs.
Either way, the evidence bag is in this fucking depository, so it's got to be wherever Child's Play 3 took place.
I did like when you were talking about the evidence bag. It reminded me of the episode of South Park where that cop goes hardcore undercover and he's having all this like sex with all these men.
And he shoots his fucking load out of his ass.
Yeah, every time he's like, give me that evidence bag, and he just spits out all the DNA into
Spits it out?
every
Is
time.
that what you call it when you fucking shoot stuff out of your ass?
I don't know the word for that. Whatever that is, he does that.
Queefs it out of his ass.
Give me that evidence bag.
Are we going to talk about who plays Tiffany?
Yeah, go for it.
Got to, man.
The Jennifer Tilly.
Jennifer Tite, is that what you said?
Sure.
That's definitely what she's known for. Right?
That's what your ears heard. She's known, Chris, for a little movie where it goes a little something like, "That's no mouse. That's my brother."
She's in fucking Stuart Little. Is she a voice in that? She's got to be a voice, right?
I don't remember, so I'm assuming, yeah.
Her voice when she calls the cop is just fucking great. Just hearing her voice again for the first time in probably 20 years for me was awesome. She's laughing at his ass as he's like swerving through traffic, like she's aware of like he's about to crash his fucking car.
That voice of hers, man, it plays so well in contrast to Chucky's voice. Hootie, first of all, everybody knows her as fucking Samantha Cole from Liar Liar.
Liar,
Not
liar with
Stuart
her chest
fucking Little.
hanging out.
Hey.
That's a Michael J. Fox joint. Shout out Michael J.
Yeah, actually, you know what I know her more for than a lot of her filmography? Back in the mid 2000s, early 2000s, the fucking poker craze that took over ESPN.
She was all over that stuff.
She is like an avid poker player, like big time poker player. Actually won a tournament in like 2005 for like an all female no limit Texas Hold'em World Series of Poker tournament. Won a fucking bracelet, so pretty big deal.
Yeah, I saw that as of 2019, her tournament earnings have exceeded $1 million.
Wow.
That's
nuts.
wild, man.
That's a career out of playing poker.
Here's the thing, like I couldn't sit across the table and play poker with this woman.
You think she would speak to you? You think it'd be the voice, or it would be like she'd have the Chucky tattoo on her heart?
You know, motherfuckers that at this type of shit, they have to wear like dark shades and stuff like that and hats. Dude, I'd be playing against her wearing a goddamn weld mask. That's the only fucking way I could pull this shit off. Yeah, she's a hot shit poker player, dude, for sure.
Lay it down, Joey. I can't even try to do her voice. It's so unique.
Don't try to do it. You might be nipples hard.
You never killed anybody, did you pathetic worm?
Pathetic worm. Also, the voice of Bonnie Swanson, man, from back in the Family Guy days.
Is she part of the TV series as well?
Like the Family Guy show?
No, Chucky, the currently.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, she is She's actually
She's not playing Tiffany though, is she?
She's playing Tiffany. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yes. But I think a lot of her stuff is like flashbacks.
Yeah, I definitely need to. From what I hear, give that show a real chance. I haven't sat down with it yet.
But yeah, oh my god, dude, she's so fucking hot. Have we talked about how hot she is in this movie?
I think we have.
The blonde hair, those lips, the beauty mark, that tight spandex dress, the dark hose, man, and a tattoo on her titty. Oh my god.
Put your shirt back on, Joy. Put your
Fucking
shirt back
hot.
on.
Does the voice add or does it take away?
Ads 100%.
Is it like the dominatrix thing? Like she's so aggressive, but
And
the
then that
voice is
lean,
so, like,
yeah,
not-
it just, And then the way she leans back after she puts them together. Y'all didn't notice that? The slow
you mean when
lean
she's
back.
looking at the doll.
Oh
yeah,
my
I
God.
got you. I do love the whole stitching him together sequence. It's really good. It's shot really well. It's fun to watch her like create the fucking Frankenstein Chucky.
Dude, as soon as I saw that scene, I was like, what's his name? McLovin from fucking Superbad.
I got a boner.
I got a boner.
But her stitching him up with the Rob Zombie blasting is just such a vibe, dude. It could be a music video for that fucking song. It's how synonymous they feel is watching that.
If I hear the song or I watch this movie, I'm either listening for that song, or if I listen to or hear the song anywhere, then it's like I think about this movie. Elsewhere, a young man named David arrives at the home of Police Chief Kincaid and his niece, Jade, David's prom date. In David's car, the pair charade ends as Jade's actual date, bad boy Jesse, emerges from his hiding place in the back seat. However, always a step ahead, Chief Kincaid's lapdog, Officer Norton, tails the trio to a stop. The officer holds the trio hostage with various intoxication tests, long enough for the chief to arrive, who whisks Jade away, back home, away from her trailer trash beau and their cunning friend. Meanwhile, at her trailer, Tiffany Valentine, with the help of Voodoo for Dummies, attempts to resurrect her new toy with the assistance of Damballa, but is frustrated by the seemingly failed ritual. A sudden knock on the door follows. Enter Alexis Arquette doing a piss-poor impersonation of the Crow as Damien. During an episode of fake murderer ball busting, Tiff realizes the doll is gone and sends Damien on a scavenger hunt, hoping her boy toy poser friend happens upon the reanimated Chucky. A clap of thunder and a flash of lightning later, the doll appears stationary and lifeless before being mocked and thrown aside by Damien. Eventually, the dollar bin, Chris Angel, finds himself handcuffed to Tiffany's bed as he places the doll on her bound friend's chest and performs a striptease for them both. Soon after, Chucky springs to life, tearing the lip ring from Damien's mouth, bellowing his maniacal laugh, and smothering his latest victim with a pillow as the former lovers reconnect.
Yeah, so how much did the prom date look like Lance Bass with that damn haircut at that door, man?
Whoa, he does.
That dude's haircut was fucking rough, man.
Well, here's the thing. You say it's rough back then. That was the shit to have. Those icy ass tips and that fucking... The stuff you could feel it and it would like poke your hand.
But yeah, I guess we got to talk about the fact Katherine Heigl's in the movie, played Jade.
See, you wanted to say fucking Jane too. We had a big
Jade.
discussion before we did this about how
Jade.
they named the
Big
character
discussion.
Jade.
Green.
How
Kincaid.
stupid. That was such a fucking dumb name.
Known for Grey's Anatomy from 2005 to 2010, Under Siege 2, Dark
Ooh.
Territory from 1995, that jean jacket, remember that? Knocked Up 2007, this one's for you, Joy. In 2000, she was in a movie called 100 Girls. Remember that shit?
Nope.
Where that dude hooks up with a girl in an elevator in college in the dark, and he goes to like the girls' dorm to figure out which girl he hooked up with.
What the
It's,
fuck?
it's classic cheesy.
He manages to bang a chick in an elevator with no lights.
Yes.
How's that work?
He has to find his one true love. It's like a Cinderella story, but it kind of gross.
So it's still a rare story, but he can see how his cock fits in a puss.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
How about that? How about that image?
Okay.
But yeah, she's like the
Who's the
jockey
guy? Who's the
girl.
guy?
It's what's his name? Jonathan Tucker. Really
The fuck
skinny
is
kid,
that?
long neck. He was in Sleepers. Remember Sleepers? Kevin
I do
Bacon?
remember Sleepers, but I don't remember this actor.
He was one of the young boys.
Oh.
You see
One
his
of the
face,
young
you
boys.
recognize him. Well, we don't want to get into what that movie's about. It's about some pretty horrendous
Yeah,
shit.
Sleepers it's pretty rough.
It's good. It's fucking rough.
It's really
Great
good,
cast, though.
but pretty rough.
Great cast. Yeah, that's Katherine Heigl. And then Chief Warren Kincaid we've met to this point, right?
Come on, give it to us.
Played by a fellow by the name of John Ritter. What do you know about John Ritter?
This man, first of all, I love John Ritter. He was in Sling Blade, Problem Child, and of course, one of the best sitcoms of all time, Three's Company. Come and knock on our door. We'll be waiting for you. Where the
Did you not
kisses
mention
are hers and his.
a little
Three's
TV
Company
movie from
too.
1990?
Oh, It. Yeah, he was also in that.
Tim
Also-
Curry's Tim Curry.
Also in one of the most important movies of my childhood. Played the adult Ben Hanscom in It from 1990.
Everybody knows the second VHS is not as good as the first VHS.
Oh, the kid shit so much.
It's
better,
like
isn't
that
it?
in both the movies. It like the both renditions of the movie or renditions of the book. Is the book like that, Chris?
Yeah, the book is.
I'm just saying, is the first part of the book better than the second part?
Yeah, the kid stuff is better.
Really?
The ending of the kid stuff is not.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm not gonna
yes.
spoil that for you, but it's weird.
Yes.
Oh, is that the one where
Yeah, it
they
gets
run
weird.
a train?
Bit of
I'm
an
not
oof
going to
there.
speak to it because I'm trying to erase it from my memory. But
Well, I mean,
yeah, did you mention Bad Santa 2003? His final live action film was actually dedicated to his memory. Him and Billy Bob, I guess, had been homeboys since Sling Blade. So.
you know, I've never seen the movie all the way through, but I was watching like clips of his role in the movie. Dude, that shit is so fucking funny. He's talking about this dude was like fucking a fat chick in a goddamn
There we
big
go.
and tall area. It was so
I don't-
good.
I
need
don't know
to watch
why,
it.
but all I remember about Bad Santa is Bernie Mac eating the hell out of a
Orange, boy. God, it was making me sick to my stomach.
Just
The way he
eating
was
the shit out of it.
sucking on that fucking shit. And he was coughing and shit.
But John, 2003, apparently he had a heart enlargement in his aorta that the doctors didn't detect. And
They diagnosed it as a heart attack.
yeah, but apparently it was something that could have been prevented, but was not caught in a scan a few months before.
A note on that to further that point. This man passed away in the same hospital that he was born in,
Oh, shit. Now that's a cycle.
which was Providence St. Joseph Medical Center.
Yeah, you remember him from Sling Blade, Joy? That was a fundamental part of it.
Yeah, I remember from Sling Blade.
Growing
That was a good movie. I enjoyed the
Dwight
fuck out of that
Yoakam.
movie.
Dwight Yoakam was fucking
Dwight
great, man.
Yoakam in that movie. You had the little kid from Tokyo Drift. It was
Lucas
fucking
Black,
dog
yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Lucas Black, yeah. He was in the war as well. So we also met Damien here in this sequence, too.
Yeah, Alexis Arquette.
Yeah, Joey. What about him?
Alexis Arquette, the person that's related to David, Patricia, and Rosanna Arquette.
Yeah, you know, there's 5 of those kids. Did you know that?
Is another one?
Yeah, so Alexis had siblings, actors, Rosanna, Patricia, David, and Richmond.
Who the hell's
Ooh.
Richmond?
You got to feel for Richmond. I don't think Richmond ever did anything.
Damn, Richmond got shit on.
famous. But yeah, apparently they're Hollywood family. Their dad was a writer-director, and their mom was an actress.
Richmond got shit on. Richmond at one point in his life, I'm assuming it's a man, in-laws were Nicolas Cage, Thomas Jane, and Courtney Cox.
He went to all those weddings, bro.
Yeah, every damn one of them.
What's he fucking doing? Sitting at who was this guy? Oh, that's our brother, fucking Richmond. We call him Richie. We call him Slow Richie for short.
Oh, he's the untalented one.
Yeah, Alexis was in Pulp Fiction. Gotta love our Quentin Tarantino shout-outs. In that one, they played the dude with the gun that shoots at Vince and Jules, the divine intervention.
Yeah, the
shooter.
cheeseburger
That's-
motherfucker.
Yeah, that's that sequence.
What I know more for is The Wedding Singer. You guys remember from The Wedding Singer? Where he plays like a boy George.
Yeah, boy George.
I
Knock
do
off.
remember the character. I didn't place it that was the same person though.
He's singing the same fucking song at the fucking
Do
reception.
you really want
Like he sings it and he stops and you, yeah, he's singing that and you got Steve Buscemi like crying next to the goddamn bar. He says, "Ooh, I like her."
I love Steve Buscemi. He's a hero.
He's so fucking good, man.
Fucking hero. I love that guy.
How good was this character?
Well, they get like half of the trailer dedicated to the character, pretty much, just because I feel like these first few sequences are the movie for me, really.
Yeah. Well, the character's so eccentric, is what it comes down to. Did we talk about Le Petit Morte enough in the fucking YouTube, or should we mention it?
Nah, we can definitely throw out his corny wordplay with Tiffany here.
The whole seduction, the cringe seduction of Tiffany during this scene with the Le Petit Morte. I don't know why that sticks out in my. If anybody was to mention this movie, the first thing that pops in my fucking head is that scene.
It's
right
the
there.
delivery, man. It's so fucking corny. And then afterwards, he says, "Come on, Tiffany, let's die a little."
And then the lightning strikes, and there's fucking Chucky right there. And she screams for some fucking reason, even though she's the one trying to get him scared. She's the one screaming.
I do like it because he shows her the picture of like this person he supposedly killed, like covered in blood and shit. She recognizes the nail polish
Right
and
away.
Like, fuck. Looks at his hands. He's like, fuck. But I love her quote right here. It speaks to her work in this, that she is as quotable as Chucky, which is incredibly fucking hard to outdo him. But she's like, "You never killed anybody, did you, you pathetic worm?" I just love the way she fucking says that.
A big part of this movie is how they've created a character that's almost Chucky's equal. In terms of
She loves some killing.
Yeah,
She's all about that killing.
It's probably my biggest takeaway from the movie is this introduction of this character. Damien grabs Chucky when he appears.
Humping his ass, you talking about?
Air fucking him.
He's not even scary. Throws him onto the side.
It's so good.
That's definitely got to be like a commentary on like what people had to say about Chucky, right?
Yeah,
I can see that.
like how can a doll kill all these fucking people?
Fuck this stupid little doll. This isn't scary, and then like just toss him away. And I feel like that's kind of what the movie does. Like it eliminates the scare factor and makes Chucky kind of what he's grown to be for us anyway, more like a pop culture comedian than anything. And I love him just sitting on the pillow when he's smothering his ass.
Oh, and he's fucking
like
bouncing his ass on his face.
Oh
yeah, that's great.
And we didn't mention Brad Dourif, the voice of Chucky, Grandma Wormtongue in Lord of the Rings, Billy Bobbitt, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Doom, Blue Velvet, Exorcist 3, still to come, Alien Resurrection, Halloween remake and its sequel, Deadwood's Doc Cochran. Can't fluff the man enough, but if anybody wants to, go ahead.
I just want to watch Deadwood again.
I just want to watch him and Deadwood. Him and Al. Just watch him and Al going
Did you
at
ever
it.
watch the movie?
I enjoyed the movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too.
Yeah, it was a good watch. Definitely felt incomplete, though, and kind of made me sad.
After discovering that Chucky never had any intention of marrying her when he was a human, Tiff locks him in a playpen and goes about disposing Damien's body the next morning with the help of her oblivious neighbor, Jessie. Heartbroken and savoring the torment of her captive, Tiffany mocks him further with a female doll of his own, clad in a wedding dress and wearing the ring she thought was left for her years and years ago. As she settles in for a relaxing bath, Chucky uses the same ring to file his way to freedom, pushing a nearby TV into the tub and transforming his former lover's soul into the wedding doll. Now on common ground, the two devise a plan to transfer their essences into human bodies using the heart of Damballa, an amulet buried with the corpse of Charles Lee Ray in Hackensack, New Jersey. Tiff works out a scheme with Jessie over the phone to deliver the pair of dolls to her friend in New Jersey, and then proceeds to stylize her new plastic body after that of her actual body. Jessie soon arrives, loads up the dolls, and picks up Jade with the promise of a shotgun marriage, and heads towards Forest Creek Cemetery in Hackensack, while the two pack a bag inside Jane's home for the trip. Her uncle, Chief Kincaid, tries to plant some of the devil's lettuce in the boy's ride, but comes face to face with a row of nails, and with the help of an airbag, meets his end, his face riddled with steel. Chucky and Tiff stash the body in a trunk in the back of the van, just as Jessie and Jade return, loading up and heading towards the Garden State. So in terms of like kill quality, first big kill of the movie in terms of, known actor, a heavy hitter. I guess Alexis is probably a heavy hitter. So second heavy hitter kill. What do you guys think? We've seen 3 other movies at this point in the franchise. How does this one stack up?
This one's not as violent as I think it would have been, because it's there's some CGI that goes on here, as you can tell. It doesn't look bad necessarily. It kind of works, but I think it's Chucky maybe passing the buck to Tiffany here that kind of downplays it some for me.
Yeah.
He's not as impulsive, I guess, as I want him to be for the first big kill.
Well, I think the aftermath of how it looks is fucking dope.
Yeah, it's a really cool result. The setup is just kind of awkward for Chucky.
And then the whole, where have I seen this before? Or this looks familiar from Chucky.
Another reference to some of the big boys in the genre.
Referencing Pinhead. Thought that was
Fucking
great. I also
Pinhead.
thought it was pretty cool too when he's like, when Chucky's fiddling around trying to find something to use to kill Kincaid. First thing he picks up is like a ball peen hammer. Almost like a reference to Child's Play 1.
Oh, yeah, with the accessory.
Yeah.
You got to get the accessory pack, Ma. But he whacks the babysitter in the forehead with that one, right?
Mhm.
Sends her out the window.
Yeah.
So can I ask exactly what happened there? Because he pulls down like the visor and it shoots out the nails.
No, they have like the, I think it's the activation cable for the airbag.
Okay.
And they have the nails, because it's kind of confusing the way it looks. They have the nails lined up on the dash in front of the...
It's complex.
The thing is, once it's deployed, what the fuck do you do after that? Like, how do you hide this real quick that you got a deployed airbag? They kind of gloss over that.
Yeah, it's a bit muddy, I think, for a first kill. But, I mean, they're in tight quarters. They're time constrained. I don't know. It seems like Chucky would just go for the stab,
Who the fuck is Martha Stewart?
My idol.
He's been out of the game for 10 years.
Yeah, this is really the first point in time where he can actually sit down and like listen to music or
Engage popular
learn about
culture.
pop culture. Because the rest of it, he's just after fucking Andy Barclay's ass.
When he's loading the body into the van for Tiffany, during that scene, you get a post-grunge version of Patsy Cline's "Crazy."
Yeah, I did remember hearing that on the soundtrack. It's kind of unique.
That was weird.
But the White Zombie, Rob Zombie shit's great. Here, I think right after this, they're chilling in the van, and Chucky's fiddling with the radio, talking about, like, what is this shit? Classic, like, old white guy stuff. And he settles on some White Zombie. I think it's Thunder Kiss 65. He's doing, like, his little fucking hand, doing, like, devil horns. It's such a great fucking little, like, 30-second nothing scene that just, that's the fucking vibe I wanted from this movie. But going back to kind of like their argument, I love this fucking bit of dialogue where she's talking about like the ring she found, like left behind. And he's like, oh yeah, I chopped that off that bitch's finger.
Yeah.
And she's like, you weren't going to ask me to marry you? He says, are you fucking nuts?
Vivian Van Pelt. Who? Yeah, Vivian Van Pelt. I dumped her ass in the river. You can get like $5,000 off that ring easy.
Six G's easy.
She's been holding on to this ring for 10 years, holding on to this love for Chucky for 10 years. He didn't give her a second fucking thought.
Such a bastard.
She wouldn't marry Chucky even if he had the body of G.I. Joe.
When that fucking line hits, you're like, all right, we're full on corn cheese now.
Oh, shit. She said, you weren't going to ask me to marry you? He said, what are you, fucking nuts? And he does that laugh, dude. Oh, it's so good.
When she had him in his little crib, he had put all these like drawings of her like getting fucking stabbed. And bleeding out. Like, nah, you're just having fun with
my
us.
My favorite part with that is when he's got the speaking spell and it says, spell woman, and he types bitch.
BITCH. And
it says
that's not how you spell
that's
woman.
Right. Shows how much you know.
I got the bathtub kill I do like, especially now that I'm an adult and I have like context about Bride of Frankenstein and what all that means and all that. So I really like that scene. I think that's a good kill. I guess technically it's not a kill, but either way, I like how all that plays out.
Dude, the face pressed against the actual shower curtain, that shit freaked me out when I was a kid. But yeah, the movie definitely has some like shares some themes with Bride of Frankenstein.
Which, I mean, it's right there in the title, but
Yeah,
without-
it kind of beats you over the fucking head with it.
You're not going to reference Bride of the Reanimator?
Why is Jesse in high school, I'm assuming, living in an RV park?
Jesse's not in high school. Jesse's like a bag boy at the local grocery. He dropped out of
He's
school.
one of these like 20-year-olds who like are fucking 17.
He loves that fucking van though. The van with the goddamn eagle's wings on it.
Yeah, this dude was a tough sell, man.
He got the birds of war van.
I don't have his name written down, but of everybody in the movie, this dude.
Oh, I got his
I
fucking
do.
name written down.
He's got.
He takes me out of it a bit.
You
Jade's
talk about
boyfriend,
Nick Stabiel.
Jesse. Nick need to stay out of movies.
Oh, wait, you talking about Nick Stabiel or are you talking about Gordon Michael Wolvett as David?
I'm not talking about the friend. I'm not talking about David. I'm talking about
That's
Jesse.
AKA Fudge. That's all I got about damn Mr. David. His nickname is Fudge in real life.
The hell?
I don't fucking know. I looked it
All
up.
right.
That was just some stupid little IMDb pack.
The Lance Bass dude?
Yeah, but Nick Stabiel's got even less. This dude is not leading man material.
He had the bod, though, Hootie. You see them traps?
I feel like he could be a stunt double for Chris Evans in Not Another Teen Movie. That was Chris Evans, right?
He was the Jake. I don't know why I remember his name. That, like, jock guy.
Speaking of which, Alexis Arquette was also in She's All That.
Really?
Yeah, you remember
As a
you
teenager?
remember the weird scene where Freddie Prinze Jr. is at that, I guess it's like a poet club or some bullshit, and Rachel Lee Cook
Like
is
the emo
dancing.
kids?
Yeah, he's like the guy in his underwear and doing like the performance on stage.
What'd you guys think about the makeover scene here with Tiffany? It's like the opposite of the Chucky stitched together scene.
I feel like Hootie wanted to fuck that doll.
I
I could just tell by the look on his face. As soon as you said something about a makeover scene with a doll, his fucking pupils got really like got wide.
my traps got all perky.
His fucking traps they went from box to turtle.
Peck's dancing.
He turtled up on us right there in that moment.
It's a good looking doll.
It's like super like Grease. Obviously, it's like Sandy from fucking Grease is what it reminded me of.
I do like how they didn't explain the doll at all. How she got a doll the same size as Chucky in a wedding dress.
Yeah, she just bought it. To,
It
like,
literally looks like a female version of a good guy doll.
but I guess it was made to be a bride because when she gets it, she does like the animatronic button press or whatever. With this ring, I thee wed.
Well, maybe they could play it off this way because they actually built her up to be like an avid doll collector. Like literally, she
had a lot of
doll
dolls, yeah.
parts. If anybody knows how to get a doll like this, it's probably her.
It's true.
I feel like she would have a whole like Instagram following if she was like a real person now.
It'd be like
Doing up my dolls.
her fucking name would be like Doll Slut 69, and she would have like a fucking OnlyFans.
Yeah, and you'd have like 5 accounts following her. Simping
Oh,
every other
trust me.
day. Oh, I'm not Joy today. I'm Kyle. I'm gooning right now. Is that what you call it again?
Fucking hell, I got goonin reference somewhere in this fucking bitch.
Hootie, I found out what gooning is, so you don't
yeah?
have to.
You want to educate the audience?
Awesome.
No, I'm good on that.
Yeah. The last thing I really want to talk about in this section is our boy Jesse and this life-changing amount of money he just received.
Oh my God. Was it like $500?
This
or something?
motherfucker with $500 is talking about putting a deposit on an apartment, paying for Jade's way through fucking college.
He's putting a down payment on the pussy.
On $500.
I don't know if you can get enough gas for that.
He's going to invest that in Apple stock.
I mean, go ahead and let me blow your mind. Nowadays, it would cost you $500 to buy 100 large fries from McDonald's. By the time this episode comes out, the large French fry.
Ain't no
look, here's the
fucking
thing.
way.
I'm gonna tell you what. Last time I went to this motherfucker, they told me they said $4.79. I said I got a fry, not a Big Mac.
Sir, are you
And
high?
this fucking bitch said, yeah, that's how much the fries cost. I said, you know what? You can cancel that order. This dude's buying a house for $500. How times have changed.
He is in love, man. He just struck gold with Jade.
He's talking about he's going to go up there to get a job, right? No one he's going to end up taking the trash out of Arby's or something like that. Eating dumpster meat
They got the
on
meat.
$500. Possibly one of my favorite quotes from the movie here is Chucky talking about them getting married. I give him 6 months, 3 if she gains weight.
3 if she gains weight. He mentions like women getting fat 3 or 4 times in this movie. He says here, he says, "You look really good, Tiffany. I really thought you'd let yourself go at the time." I was like, fuck, dude. He does nothing to win this woman
He
over.
dogs her like every chance he can get. The movie's really good about playing off marriage in the stereotypical fashion. Before they get too far, however, the pair are pulled over once again by a habitual harasser, Officer Norton, at a local hangout spot for the young and the hip. Jade, fed up with constant intimidation, strikes the lawman in front of a crowd of rubberneckers and takes off to cool down while Norton searches the van, discovering the weed planted by his superior. The officer proceeds to radio the chief in his squad car after the find, only for Chucky to send him to hell with an improvised car bomb, sending the crowd into a screaming panic and Jesse and his lover fleeing as suspects. A phone call from David while they continue their journey informs them that they are considered suspects in the slaying of Officer Norton and the disappearance of Kincaid, each suspecting the other's involvement. The two decide to rebuild their trust, eloping near Niagara Falls at an overnight chapel. While inside, Chucky and Tiff take a trip down memory lane, regaling each other with tales about their relationship from the past, until the chief bursts from his makeshift coffin, still alive. Charles Lee does what he does best, stabbing the man repeatedly in the back until he breathes his last, stuffing the man back in his initial resting place. So at this moment, this is when the Thunder Kiss 65 plays on the radio, Chris.
Poor John Ritter, though, man. Dude dies fucking twice in this movie.
Twice. He probably does have the most memorable death, though. Like, for as underwhelming as it is.
The wedding at Niagara Falls would mean that you're probably right that this does take place in the Northeast. However, it's completely opposite of New Jersey. So they had to do a detour to go to Niagara Falls to get married and then go back to New Jersey.
Well, I guess is their plan, because they keep talking about like leaving. I'm assuming they're gonna go to Canada maybe because they're fugitives.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like that's got to be the because Niagara Falls is
you know
right
what?
there.
That's got to be the only option because ain't no person in their right mind going to live in the landfill that is New Jersey.
Tony Soprano did
That
just fine
place is
there.
a fucking cesspit.
Somebody hates Bruce Springsteen.
You literally have to wear fucking steel toe boots to walk on the beach because they got so many like needles and shit out there.
So during Chucky's little IED, during Chucky blowing up the cop car there, what do you think about him like scampering across the ground?
Scuttle across the ground, and then the weed head, the stoner sees him and he flips him off.
Rude fucking doll,
Rude fucking
man.
doll.
But yeah, you can tell it's like it's a stunt person around a stunt person, but a double actual human being doing it. It looks really fucking cool from overhead the way they shoot it. Again, probably tying back to the kangaroo fighting movie that Mr. Yu cut his teeth on.
You know what? I don't even want to watch that movie. I want to listen to the fucking the soundtrack or the score of that movie. You know it's going to be a banger. You know it's going to have some wild ass shit.
Even though it was 97, you know it's got to have like a
You
cheesy ass 80s victory song on there.
In my mind, I'm hearing the fucking Three Ninjas theme song.
I keep going back to Win in the End from the end of Teen Wolf. Ever since we talked about that the other day, I fucking like in my mind that's like the ultimate victory at the end of an 80s movie.
Who did you ever go watch that scene with the dick in it?
I did not.
Here's your daily reminder to go check that out.
My brother told me that. In a complete random conversation, my brother said, "You've just seen the end of Teen Wolf," and I was like, "Is this the dick thing again?"
That's like third reminder you've had, man. Three's a
Right.
sign. We should end every episode by standing up with our dicks out and just dancing, playing that song. Win in the end. We're gonna win in the end.
So at this point, the movie's like building up this this idea that these lovers, Jade and Jesse, are both like suspecting the other of committing like murder on the behalf of the other, and they're kind of like not really confronting each other about it, but they're kind of dancing around the idea of it, and neither one of them feel unjustified in the fact that the other one committed murder.
Yeah, they both feel like they're trapped. Like, oh God, I'm going to marry this person because they're psychotic, and they would kill me if I don't.
How deranged do you have to be to like have that thought process? Like they're not growing up in a small town. It doesn't seem like they have no options in terms of their love life. But the way this is painting it, it's like I don't have any choice but to be with this one person.
I think it probably ties back to like the circumstances of their relationship, because the uncle, right? That's what John Ritter was. He wasn't her dad, so he was like so hard ass against this guy that it, in her mind, like it's a tragic romance. Like he has to be the one type deal.
Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah. Like it's fated to happen because so many people are rooting against us.
When John Ritter calls him fucking trailer trash, that is like, it has to cut to the bone, you know?
I like when he says, fuck you. You won't. At least not Jade anyway. Not anymore.
I got him.
They're going to like a prom, right?
Yeah, they're going to some prom.
And it's like never discussed again. So she's still in high school. Or at least one of them is still in high school, right?
Fucking Norton hits him with the I wouldn't even talk about that. Norton hits him with the zinger because fucking Jesse's dressing his like really vibrant blue tuxedo.
Oh, yeah, like the pirate shirt.
He fucking calls them boogie
Fluffy.
nights.
Fucking boogie nights. Get that Dirk Diggler cock out of here.
Shacking up at a nearby honeymoon lodge, the newlyweds bunk up for the night. It's here they meet a pair of con artists who proceed to rob the duo, unbeknownst to them. Back in their rooms, karma catches up to the criminals as Tiff makes them pay, shattering a mirrored ceiling tile above their bed, cutting them to ribbons. And you know what they say, murder is the best aphrodisiac, as Chucky and Tiff proceed to fuck amongst the gore and glass. Ignorant of the murder and mayhem taking place close by, a maid stops by in the morning, alerting the rest of the motel staff and residents of the horror scene. Jade and Jesse scramble to leave with their dolls in tow, surprisingly joined by David as they continue towards New Jersey. David, smelling the scent of death, eventually checks the trunk and discovers the grisly sight of Kincaid's Hellraiser-esque corpse. Suspecting the two of being the next coming of Mickey and Mallory, unholsters the chief's firearm and holds his friends at gunpoint, forcing them to pull over and revealing the body of Jade's uncle to the unsuspecting driver and passenger. David exits the back of the van and flags down a passing highway patrolman as Chucky and Tiff finally make themselves known, whipping out pistols of their own as David flees into oncoming traffic, a passing semi vaporizing him. Tiff commands Jesse to speed off as Chucky blows out the engine of the trailing lawman's car with his own pistol. Where'd these fucking guns come from?
Well, it's a lot to unpack.
Let's start with these guns here.
Start with the guns.
Start with the guns. They just fucking whip out guns like this is Pulp Fiction.
Are we supposed to assume that they were the random lovers' guns?
Well, that's a good catch.
That's actually
the couple
a good
that they
catch. I
kill
didn't even think about that.
The honeymoon suite. He's always stuffing shit in his overalls too. Like earlier, we saw him stuff the bag of weed in his overalls.
Make it sound like it's a fucking golden corral shoving yeast rolls in his pockets.
But yeah,
Damn,
like
dude.
fucking Santa Claus pants or something.
I'd be double fisting them things, boy.
He's got them Tim Allen pants.
Are we going to talk about that waterbed?
The waterbed death.
That son of a bitch exploded.
Dude, that fucking waterbed exploded in a geyser of water and blood. More so than the fucking grenade that killed Whitehurst in Child's Play 3.
Whitehurst. Rest in peace, Whitehurst.
And it was loud too.
Yeah.
It was loud as shit,
Likewise.
and no one was the wiser to it.
It was just a little
What about
dramatic.
the mirror kill, man? What about that? That's a pretty cool kill.
I thought it was great.
It was pretty badass.
It was
It's
fantastic.
a little CG, you could tell, but it was still a pretty
it's
good kill.
98. Who cares?
It's fucking 98. Anaconda just fucking dropped.
Fucking $500,000.
You think David getting hit by the truck is sloppy?
The CGI just looked a little dated, but it is what it is. It's 98.
How about when she sees Tiffany in the mirror, like reflection, and she's starting to like shriek about it, and this motherfucker's like, "Yeah, baby, come on, yeah, come on." Like he's getting horny and hornier the more she's fucking shrieking about this.
God, I'm tearing
doll.
this shit up. Imagine, I mean, you a woman making love. You just robbed a poor sap of teenage runaways.
Yeah, you just took his fucking house
$500.
down. You just took his house down payment, his old lady's college tuition. You took everything.
Yeah, and then you see that standing beside your bed. What are you gonna do, man? Remarked earlier about how cute the dolls were, thinking they were like wedding gifts to Jesse and Jade, right?
Yeah, because a Frankenstein Chucky is a wedding gift.
She was like, "This one's so cute." But this fucking thing, ugh.
I don't like him.
So the sex scene, the line where Tiffany asks, "Does he have a rubber?" The way Brad delivers that, "Do I have a rubber?" It's like so offended.
And I got to shout out fucking Hocus Pocus, one of the Sanderson sisters, Miss Mary, showing up in the maid
Captain
service
and
costume,
Jimmy.
man.
Back in the habit.
Looking for Thackeray Binks up in this bitch.
Thackeray Bean. We already talked about like Sister Act. We talked about Hocus Pocus. What about she was also the voice of Peggy Hill? At this point, I guess Chucky bust, right?
Oh yeah, he definitely makes love. Yeah, we got the end of the movie to prove that.
I'm gonna start using that line. I'm all rubber. It doesn't make any fucking sense, but hell, maybe it'll work. Fuck it.
Do I have a rubber?
Do I have a rubber? Dude, the way the dolls started making out, that shit it was so fucking gross. Like the tongues look so wet.
Yeah,
I don't know if y'all really
they
paid
did
attention
like
to that. It was
realistic looking tongues.
It looks so fucking. Oh god. Finally entering New Jersey, a news alert blares over the radio, explaining that Charles Lee Ray's fingerprints were found at one of the recent crime scenes, and as a result, his corpse would be exhumed later that day, throwing a pretty big monkey wrench in the killer doll's plans. That evening, the quartet exchanged vehicles, continuing an RV, its owner's dead bodies shoved into an onboard closet. After some manipulation by their captives and the disruption of their newlywed bliss, Tiff is knocked into an oven and Chucky thrown from a side window as the RV crashes into a ditch. A freshly burnt Tiffany assaults Jade, but is thrown aside by Jesse, who unties his wife as they make their escape from the exploding camper. Jade is taken hostage once again by Chucky, heading for the graveyard as Jesse follows behind with Tiff's charred body in tow. The face that Chucky fucking makes when he's throwing out the side window.
Yeah, when he's flying out.
Quintessential Chucky face.
Yeah, I feel like we've definitely seen that one. I think in the first one, right before he busts out of the plastic, he's got that same fucking face. So it's all about washing the fucking dishes, man.
After making him cookies.
At the end of the day, you gotta take care of your lady, my guy.
Well, they reference it several times throughout the movie of her little saying that her mother kind of...
My mom always said, but if you're gonna cook for a man, the least you can do is wash a dish.
And that's like her ultimate idea of love, and I guess this right
Chivalry,
here,
right?
This right here, it just comes to a head, and Jesse and Jade, knowing how this woman is, they use it to prey on them and manipulate the two. It's actually a pretty good use of exposition from earlier in the movie.
Yeah, because I think she uses those exact words to Jesse when he's helping her move the dead body, unbeknownst to him earlier in the movie. Kind of expelling, like, this is what a good man does. He leans into it, hits him with the 0-1 too.
And see, this is that opportunity to have, if you want to have a quality marriage, you just want to phrase this stuff a little bit different. Just a little bit.
Yeah, you're not much of a housekeeper, is she? Chucky looks in the fucking rearview mirror and turns around. Yeah, Tiff, those dishes ain't gonna wash themselves, you know.
A piece of plastic can't replace the feeling of a good hunk of wood.
Yeah, his little rubber weenie ain't enough.
She wasn't complaining last night.
I did like also when she like sneaks into the pantry. There's like those fucking old dead people. She's like, oh, Excuse me.
Excuse me. Here's the thing. They both had fucking shots to the head.
Yeah, they got fucking executed.
I wonder if there's like a decent amount of cut footage from the movie. Because they gloss over this whole sequence of acquiring the RV.
Yeah, it's a tight movie. I think if you remove credits, it's under 90 minutes.
Chucky and his hostage arrive first, killing the gravedigger of his freshly unearthed coffin. Inside, around the skeletal remains, rests the heart of Damballa. Chucky arms himself with it just as Jesse arrives and a prisoner exchange takes place. A wife for a wife. Jade and Jesse embrace as Chucky hurls a knife at their back, sending Jesse sprawling to the ground. Now armed with both pistols, the red-haired menace ties up the young lovers and begins the transfer of souls. Unable to bring herself to cause any more destruction, Tiff does what she feels is right, tricking Chucky into one last lover's embrace as she pulls the knife from Chucky's pocket, driving it to his back as he tumbles into the freshly dug grave. Down but not out, he comes back with a vengeance, and the lovers battle shovels in hand as the humans break their bonds. The battle rages on, culminating with the lone knife being driven into Tiff's chest, just as Jesse knocks the killer doll into the grave once more. Unable to escape with the ladder now removed, he screams in rage as a detective arrives on the scene. Jade steals the lawman's wheel gun, plugging the doll till its cylinder runs dry, leaving his corpse next to that of his skeleton. The detective clears their name, sending them home as he examines the charred remains of Tiff the doll. She awakes, screaming in agony as her skirt writhes, and from it crawls a needle-toothed shrieking offspring that lunges at the detective's throat. So ends 1998's Bride of Chucky. Before we talk about this section right here, I want to go over something.
Here we go.
I want to go over all this knife shit I just said. If you listen to it, it's going to sound really fucking confusing because he throws a knife and all of a sudden the knife's in his pocket. So Jade pulls the knife out of Jesse's back after he chucks it at her. Or at them, I would say.
Yes.
Chucky says, "I'll take that." And she throws the fucking knife back at him.
Casually, like at his feet.
Like, damn, bitch, this ain't the fucking fair. You give him a second try to win a prize? What are we doing? Why is she giving him a knife back?
Did he have the gun on her at that point?
Maybe, but he threw it.
What'd you expect her to do? Like try to
Throw it
stab
in the
his ass with it?
grave. Holy shit. He ain't gonna kill you. First of all, he's not gonna kill you because he needs your soul.
Why did he even throw the knife at Jesse?
Oh, he had to incapacitate one of them
Why?
so he can tie him up. Like, Jesse still has his gun right here. This is how he acquires the gun. He hits Jesse in the back, and Jesse, like, fucking throws his arms up, and I guess the gun goes flying in the air.
So I guess we kind of have not really talked about the MacGuffin of this amulet that is buried on Charles Lee Ray, and that's why we're making this pilgrimage to retain it so we can complete which we didn't need in any other movie before now, the Damballa soul swap chant, right? That's why we're here. That's why we're in New Jersey.
Here's what I'm thinking. All right, you say, well, I mean, and it's a good point of why all of a sudden is this thing so important when he could have used this the whole time instead of going after Andy Barclay. In the first movie, is the guy like a voodoo master? The black guy from the first movie who teaches
Yeah. He
Charles
used to
Lee
run
Ray.
with him.
Okay.
Yeah, he was some kind of voodoo.
He talks about how you have to destroy the heart, right? The heart, Chucky's heart. Could it be, and I guess the way they're kind of dancing around it, could it be that this is the heart that they're talking about having to destroy to really, really like end Chucky?
The amulet.
Lord Voldemort, Horcrux bullshit.
Oh man, the Horcrux.
Here we go.
So is it ever fetched in this movie?
Is whatever fetched. What are we talking about?
The amulet. Is it still in the grave with him?
No, he's got it at this point.
He shot down with it, right?
But I think he has it on him. I don't think he's wearing it or anything. Dude, when he fucking stabs Tiff in the chest, and she's like being all dramatic about dying, he says, "Get off my knife."
Get off my knife. I did like the shovel fight too which that had like
the
no
overhead shot where you can
where
tell
it's
it's
two
just,
actors actually like choreographing a fight.
It's pretty
I was
good.
like, that's fucking dope.
Yeah.
That
I want to
looked
see
really
those people. Of course, they're not going to show us their faces because it's supposed to be.
It was a
plastic
creative
dolls
way of
going
doing
at
it and not like outright giving away that it was actors or live action.
So I don't know the physics of how the dolls would actually like react to like blows, because they're not like you smack the doll in the face, like there's no give. It's just fucking plastic. It's just gonna like topple over.
There was so many like good one-liners in this whole sequence we just discussed. When he has Jade go down into the grave and retrieve his necklace, and she just fucking pulls it off and breaks his corpse's neck. Bitch, you broke my neck.
Bitch. It's the classic Chucky, like, bitch.
Yeah. And then we got, who does it better? Freddy or Chucky when it comes to saying bitch? Probably Freddy.
I'm biased, yeah.
I'm leading Freddy, yeah. Robert Englund, like, leans into it more, like, bitch.
Yeah.
He, like, rolls it out. Chucky's more like a wife-beating asshole version of it,
Oh.
Bitch.
And then we got another one here. Go ahead and shoot. I'll be back. Always come back.
Fucking always come back.
I like that one too.
What about the gnawing little bastard?
Oh, fuck. You talking about Glenda?
Giving birth and jumping on old dude's face.
Old dude came out of nowhere.
Well, no. Early in the movie, he was on TV as like the lead investigator in the whole Jesse and Jade case. Like,
Right.
and they talk about how later on in the day, somebody was going to be there to look over the body and to make sure the body was in there.
Oh, that's why the guy was digging the grave. I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was being exhumed for the fingerprints, right?
Yeah, just want to make sure he's dead. I mean, because somehow, I guess dolls have fucking fingerprints now, so I don't know.
What do we think of the ending? I know we have retrospect now. We know there's sequels. But as is,
I'm glad
taking it.
I'm glad it led to a sequel. I'm not happy with what that sequel is.
I have never seen said sequel.
How do you feel about the end of this? Is this a good or bad setup?
I think it's a good setup. I mean, just honestly, it means more Chucky.
It could have been great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the movie's campy as fuck, and this just put the cherry on top.
It's just so hard to erase like what I know of what's to come, It really makes the ending like so blah.
What happens in Seed that's so bad?
The most random shit you could think of. You'll see.
You'll
see.
It has like
I know I will see. Thanks to you
It has
guys.
one of the worst characters.
We talking like Jar Jar Binks bad?
It's pretty bad.
All right. Well, that's all it is, boys. Get your checkbooks out. Which piece of memorabilia you're going to purchase and take home from the bride of Chucky?
Well, I guess I'll go first because I didn't realize this, but apparently I am turned on by the Tiffany doll, according to Joey.
Oh,
And that is, in
shit.
fact, the piece of
Jesus
memorabilia.
Christ!
that
I
I
fucking
chose.
knew it.
Hold on. He's been gooning this whole episode, Joey. I just
Are
noticed
you
that.
still gooning both hands? Let me see both hands. At the same time.
He's only doing
Okay,
one at
there
a
you
time.
go.
One at a
There
time.
you go.
He's like, here's one.
I mean,
Here's the thing.
no,
We know the doll is anatomically correct. So
there you go.
hey, what
You know
about?
she
I
puts
bet you that
out,
little.
so-
I bet you that little sequence where it shows her little fucking butt cleavage, like the fucking.
Oh,
little
God, I
butt
forgot about
crack.
that.
Ugh.
There you go.
Damn it.
I need a little jacket. I need
Time for a little goon sesh.
Tiffany's little accessory pack has cigarettes and a leather jacket.
I'm going to keep it simple. I want that newspaper clipping. Had a picture of my boy Brad Dourif from the OG. She had it framed and everything in her little trailer, so it already has like a nice little shelf life baked into it. Thought it was pretty cool.
Well, I was gonna say I wanted the Heart of Dembalos so I could fucking switch bodies with Hootie for a little bit and experience what it's like to have traps like that. But apparently he's gonna fucking fuck this doll. I don't know how I feel about that.
You don't want to be mid-coitus and then you switch
I
bodies.
just switch bodies with him right when I'm about to bust.
We can all have a turn. Eskimo Brothers.
Is that what they call that, Eskimo Brothers?
Eiffel Tower. All right, boys, if that's it, time to be professors that we are and give out letter grades to Mr. U for his Bride of Chucky from 1998. Mr. Hootie, what did you think?
Bride of Chucky is a film I have probably watched once, possibly twice in my life. I remember renting this from our local video store and not liking it in my youth because the character just never appealed to me like he does to you two. After rewatching this for this episode, I can honestly say that I still am not the biggest fan of this film or this character. The budget of $25 million could have been put to better use in some areas. However, I think Jennifer Tilly was a great cast for Tiffany, due to the way she pulls off being this trashy ex-lover of a serial killer. Brad Dourif does a great job with his voice work of Chucky as always, but the rest of the cast falls short in my opinion. Even my love for John Ritter can't convince me that he did an incredible job in his role. I give this film a C.
The tent is officially pitched at Camp Chucky at this point. The setup for this one is funny. The first half, for me, is so incredibly quotable and still fresh in my mind all these years later. I feel like there's some bits of the dialogue that I can still hear in fucking perfect harmony from the way I heard it back then. And I think it works. I mean, the whole Tiffany spicing up the canon brings the whole reality of Chucky to life. He's just a goofy little doll. And we kind of get that in the that sequence with Damien, which, like I said, in my mind is like the essence of this movie. The puppetry, I think, adds a lot of humor here. This is probably the best puppet work that we've had in the franchise. And they embrace that in this movie. Even they use the human doubles, which is played kind of for laughs. Like I said, just the way that they move, those overhead shots. We've had the doubles for Chucky in the previous franchises, and they're like they're trying to be scary in those moments, but I feel like in this one, they're not. And it just, it adds another flavor of love and cheese to this for me. I love Chucky's look here. The stitched up face, in my mind, supplants the OG look. It's what Chucky looks like, I think, to the modern world. So if you ever see him in Spirit Halloween or on someone's like front porch at Halloween, it's this look because it's vicious and just fucking cool. Music was a vibe, perfect of the time mix, and the imagery of the movie just highlights it perfectly. I loved it. Jesse, fuck, it sucked. The character is somebody I just could not follow for 1 second of this movie. He made me miss those corny kid actors that played Andy and Tyler back in the day, my homeboys. The finale does muddy it up a bit for me. Once the road trip is in full swing, it kind of loses a little bit of momentum and just a touch of the humor that first half just bangs. Mr. U leaves my class with a solid B- for Bride of Chucky.
So what we have here is the first entry in the Chucky Child's Play universe that goes full horror comedy. Sure, the humor has ramped up consistently from the original through the second and third Child's Play, but it's at the forefront with Bride of Chucky. After 3 movies chasing the same goal, it's refreshing to see Chucky branch out and break away from the ball and chain that is Andy Barclay. But in doing so, the movie doesn't disregard the first 3 entries. It does a good job of taking that history and allowing it to mesh with the new direction that the films will be taking in the future. Outside of the new direction, the biggest contribution that BOC has on the Chucky-verse is the introduction of Tiffany Valentine, played to perfection by Jennifer Tilly. Tiff steals the show, and whenever she's on the screen, the Chuckster almost always plays second fiddle, which is a good directorial decision. Yes, Brad Dourif is a legend, and you go to see these movies for him and his iconic character and his performance, but creating something of an equal to that character in terms of impact on the story and value to the film overall, it gives the movie its own identity and sets it apart from what would have been just another sequel in what some horror fans may see as a stale franchise. It sets out to set a new course for the franchise, and it succeeds in that. Now, where that course may lead, especially with the next entry, well, that's a tale for another time. 1998's Bride of Chucky grades out with a C.
So we recapping our audience score guesses. I was thinking about this. This is a game that we made up. We should probably give it a name. Doing some volleying back and forth with myself, I decided on Mater Meter. What do we think about that?
That's
the Mater Meter?
I like it.
Mater Meter trademark, Horrible Film School 2024.
Mater Meter.
New to the show, if you are, we take a stab at our audience fan score guesses from a little site called Rotten Tomatoes. If we're within 5, we choose what's next. Joey, since this was his movie, did not get a guess at this week's episode. So, between me, Mr. Hootie, I said 45%. Mr. Hootie said 60%. The actual audience score is a drum roll, please. 50%, baby.
Oh, my God.
W.
I should have watched this film more in my youth.
I knew the camp was going to sway some, so banked on that. Anyway, take the W. I appreciate it. So I'm in charge. Next film's on me. Got a bit of a, I'm going to call it a surprise. Not a surprise, but a gift for you boys. We're here in the dead heat of summer. It's getting hot and nasty in the southeastern United States of America.
Dante's Peak is not a horror film. I'm going to put that out there.
This is true, damn it.
This volcano?
This episode that I'm going to host is going to drop on July the 5th, which is a very important day in the horror community. July the 5th will be the release date for a little movie me and Joey are hyped about called Maxine.
Oh, shit.
So, in honor of Maxine, we are going to visit her origin in a movie from 2022 simply called X.
Dude, this is a star-studded cast, huh? You got Jenna Ortega,
Kid Cudi?
Mia Goth, Kid Cudi.
Day and night.
When I was born, said I'm here to Scott and Mike.
Brittany Snow, she's the other lady in there. So we are going to pull up the trailer on YouTube. We'll watch it there. We'll share that via our own YouTube channel, video format. If you want to watch along with us, listen to what we got to say about it, we will do that there. Otherwise, we'll catch you right back here in a few moments. All right, boys, there's a trailer. Our trademark named Mater.
Mater.
Will abstain. The Mater meter is in full swing here. You too have your ways with that audience score guess on Rotten Tomatoes.
You know how it is a highbrow shit, or highbrow is type shit. You know the damn critic's going to be creaming their jeans, but you're going to have your detractors from the audience.
It's going to be hard with this. I'm
going to go with a 72.
Because I'm awful at this game, and you two are usually pretty good at it, I'm going to go 78.
Also wanted to, of course, encourage people to watch along with us. This may not be the most evergreen way to do it, but as of the time of this recording, you can stream X on Netflix in 4K. So that's a good catch. It's also available on Paramount Plus, it looks like, and you can, of course, rent or buy it from the usual suspects. Apple TV, Google Play, YouTube, all that kind of stuff. Amazon, I'm sure. But looks like it's on Netflix at the moment, so watch this shit with us. And, of course, thank you for listening. Check out our website, horriblefilmschool.com. You can find links to all of our podcast platforms, Instagram, and the merch store. If you click that little globe icon you see on the page there, you'll get our link tree, which kind of gives you access to all of our socials and all the good stuff. So hop on there, send us reviews, 5-star reviews if you don't mind, follows, everything, all the love you can spare. We'd even like a big bowl of Swedish meatballs if you can manage. With that, I'm going to say goodbye and offer my support to women slaving away over a hot stove with no one willing to do the damn dishes. You are the real MVPs.
As always, if you're hearing our voices, spread that love, spread that campaign, tell them all about the Horrible Film School. And with that, I'm out to watch somebody make a porno in an old lady's house.
Thanks for the likes, the subs, the listens, the follows, the downloads. We really appreciate you guys and gals' support, as well as your time and attention. Be sure to join us in the next one when we go in raw down on the farm in 2022's X. Class dismissed.